All right, last one that I want to talk about is Colorado. I save it for the last because I thought about saving this for Wednesday, and I just thought to myself, you know what? What I'm about to say is truthful, and you've got to say it. Colorado beat North Dakota State 31-26. Now, in and of itself, that's about what I thought was going to happen. If you actually go back to last week's episode, I said Colorado wins but does not cover. That's exactly what happened in this game. I knew it was going to be a tough game against North Dakota State because I really liked North Dakota State's program. You saw they were tough, man. You know, like they're going to be right there for an FCS national championship. Now, you could say like, okay, well, if that's what you expected, then you must be riding high because, man, that performance from Shedeur and Travis Hunter was incredible. And yes, that's true about the performance. And no, I'm not riding high with Colorado. I was convinced in this offseason that we were going to see a Colorado team that had gotten better, a Colorado team that had gotten better at the line of scrimmage, better on defense, better in situations, better in the game plan. And what I watched last Thursday night was two elite stars, and really maybe more with a guy like Jimmy Horn. Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter are elite players. Jimmy Horn is an elite wide receiver. And everything else is really questionable for Colorado. Nothing got better from last year. So they have these elite players that carried them over North Dakota State, carried them. And yet all the same stuff that happened last year happened again. They didn't get better. Now, to be fair, it's the first game. They had another huge roster turnover, and maybe they're going to continue to get better and get better from week 1 to week 2, which is the week in which you generally see the most amount of growth because you can actually go back from a game against an opponent and you can teach and you can put that on tape and you can put that on the practice field and try to fix some of those mistakes. But here's the problem with that is that we saw the exact same things happen that happened last year. And so to me, that's alarming. I've got alarm bells going off right now for Colorado. Elite talent, same problems. Here's some of the issues from last year. They ran it for less than 3 yards per carry. They had no creativity in the run game. They have got to, the game plan running the football has to get more creative because it's not about being dominant in the run game. It's not about establishing the run game. It's about creating easier opportunities for Shedeur to throw the football. That's what it's about. It's about throwing the football when you want to, not when you have to. Because if you continue to do what you did against North Dakota State, guess what you did? Throw the ball because you have to, which exposes Shedeur Sanders. That's unsustainable. There's so many things that happen on Thursday night that are totally unsustainable for Colorado. Not running the football is one of those. At some point, those guys up front are going to have to take pride in the fact that, listen, you're either going to sit there and you're going to watch the stars around you carry you to potentially be in games, or you can actually be a teammate and you can actually contribute to what's going on. Because right now, it's not happening. They did not run the ball well enough. Shedeur was unbelievable under pressure, 7 of 9 for 165 and a touchdown, 18 yards per attempt, and he was only sacked 1 time. Why? Because he was phenomenal. The offensive line was not very good. Again. And that's unsustainable. The pressure rate was 30% of his dropbacks. Very similar to last year. Last year was right up there around 35%, 36, 37%. This was an FCS team, and it was 30%. That's an alarming statistic. So the same things popping up again. That has to get better. At some point, whether it's the game plan and the creativity of the run game, or whether it's the pride in those guys up front take, that has to get better for Colorado to take the next step. Travis Hunter playing both ways. I know we all love to see it. We love to see it, and I'm not suggesting that they don't play him both ways, but the plan for Travis Hunter has to change. It has to change. He played basically every snap on defense and missed only 2 snaps on offense. So he played 7 on special teams. So guess how many snaps he played? 136. 136. And if he plays 136 out of 180, I'm like, okay, it's 136. That's what it is. But when it's 136 out of 140, that's too much, because that suggests that he was wasting effort because listen, a game is kind of like a bell curve. All right. There are snaps that become meaningless. And then there are the bulk of the snaps are kind of like in the middle. And then there's these snaps on the other side, and there's just a few that mean everything. And what you have to do is that you have to shove his snap total into the back half of the bell curve. You've got to get him off the field for this 10, 12% of the snaps that don't matter. That has to be part of the game plan. First downs, base defense on your opponent's side of the territory, all these different things that you can do. By the way, here's another little one. Build an offensive game plan so that he's always the wide receiver nearest your bench. Build a defensive game plan that he's always the corner nearest your bench. Maybe not always, but maybe there is a certain call or in certain parts of the field where you can put him there so that he can slide in and out and take 5 or 6 snaps off and it doesn't hurt you. Okay, based on field position, time of game situation, all these different things. I make the contention that you need to take 10 to 15% of Travis Hunter's snaps away from him. And you can do that so that in those moments that you need him to be the elite player that he is, he can play at his peak potential. Because right now, when you redline like that the entire year, it will break down. And if he breaks down after what I saw on Thursday night, they don't have anything else. So it's incumbent on the coaching staff to build a game plan that allows him to be sustainable. So again, this word of sustainable. What happened Thursday night was not sustainable at all. You can't expect Shedeur and Travis to do that every single week and bail everybody else out. The game plan has to be better from the coaching staff, and the play from those teammates have got to get better. We see this same undisciplined play from the same undisciplined players time and time again. Those penalties have to stop. That's a big one. And then the clock mismanagement. The clock mismanagement at the end of the game was egregious. Now, I do believe that was Shedeur's call at the end of the game. I haven't talked to anybody within the organization or the program, and I don't know this to be absolutely the fact. But what happened at the end of the game with the clock management, if you didn't see it, with 1:41, Colorado had the lead and they had first down. All right. North Dakota State had some timeouts, and all you need to know is that if you just play it out correctly, North Dakota State receives the ball at worst with about 5 seconds left or 4 seconds left in the game. And yet what happened? They threw the ball on first down with 1:41. This cannot happen. Now, if it was a check on the field by the quarterback, then that's going to be evaluated by the next level. That can't happen. It cannot happen. I don't care what the defense is. It doesn't matter if nobody's covering. It has to be a run play. There is no way that you as an offense can stop the clock for the defense in that moment. They must burn their timeouts. The sequence goes like this. Anybody knows this. This was almost a Mario Cristobal moment. And it almost burned them because North Dakota State got the ball and drive back and they catch a Hail Mary. We'll get to that in a moment. First down, 1:41 left. What do? Run the ball. I don't care if there's 11 guys stuffed in the run box. You run the ball. Whether you want to hand it off or run it with the quarterback, you run the football. Takes about 5 seconds. North Dakota State, what do? They take a timeout. And 5 seconds is generous, by the way. Some of them take 6 or 7 seconds. So this is just in a very conservative clock management style. So now it's second down. There's 1:35 left. What do? Run the ball. You have to run the ball in that situation. There is no other option. I do not care what the defense does or what they're in. You run the football. The clock must run. At that point, it takes about 5 seconds. And at third down, you're snapping the ball with conservatively 50 seconds left. What do at that point? Snap the ball again. And you run the ball again. And you punt the ball. And North Dakota State gets the ball with about 5 seconds left. Conservatively. At that point, you might not even need to punt the ball. You can snap it and run backwards and bleed it and go down. There is a scenario where you never have to punt. The fact that North Dakota State touched the football with a chance to win is an egregious mistake. Egregious mistake. It's unsustainable to play this way if you're Colorado. They have elite talent, and you cannot waste it with these same mistakes that they continue to waste it with. Everything that I'm talking about is factual. None of it is personal. And if it continues, they will lose a fair share amount of their games. Why do I know that? Because in that conference, they will play 8 to 9 one-possession games from here on out. They just played one against North Dakota State. They're going to play 8 or 9 more in that league because everybody's bunched up. Everybody is good. Everybody is tough in that league. So if you don't fix these things that were clear mistakes, they will come back to haunt you. It's the exact same type of mistakes that we saw last year. It bit them in the butt, and that's why they only won 4 games and they didn't go to a bowl game. I said they could win 8 or 9 games, not if they play like this. Not if they play like this. So I've been very bullish on Colorado. They win at 31-26. They played Nebraska this weekend, and they've got to fix all these mistakes that I just laid out right there. Thank you for watching the Joel Klatt Show YouTube channel. And if you liked this clip, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel, and you can stay up to date on all of my college football coverage.